Alright, so this is my newest video, and it came from some really old footage. Actually, I recorded this back in last January? So, January 2020. And some of the icons you'll see in the video are a little outdated, and up till about the second Giovanni fight, I think, all the footage there and voice recordings were used with my old equipment. I have newer stuff now, like this, which makes my audio a lot better and crisper, and I have a better sense of how to edit now. So the video's a little bit rough, so hopefully you guys enjoy it anyway. And if you do, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. We're going to be doing more Pokemon challenges from now on, and I'd like some suggestions of what you'd like to see next. Anyway, enjoy the video, guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Thomas and welcome back to another challenge video. Today we figure out if you can beat Pokemon FireRed by floating like a Butterfree and stinging like a Beedrill. Okay, cheesy opening aside, let's get started, shall we? The rules are simple. No using any other Pokemon aside from Butterfree and Beedrill in their previous evolutions to battle, HM boys are allowed, and no items in battle. I'm pretty sure I can beat the game, but I think I'm going to have to be a pretty high level, but probably not level 100. Alright, let's do this. We use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to swap Bulbasaur for Weedle, so our rival will have Charizard, so we get the hardest rival possible. A bunch of poison stings wins the battle. After evolving Kakuna and Metapod into Beedrill and Butterfree, we decide to challenge Brock. Oh, I never got a chance to mention this earlier. Butterfree's ability is Compound Eyes, which increases accuracy, and Beedrill's ability is Swarm, which ups bug moves in a pinch. We start off using Butterfree and Brock uses Geodude. Confusion does just over a third of his health and he uses Defense Curl, raising his physical defense one stage. Knowing his Onix is next, I use Harden to raise our defense so his Onix can't knock us out too quickly. Brock uses Tackle and I use Harden again the next round, and he uses Tackle again to do very little effect. We both repeat this a few times until I'm sure we can survive Onix. And then I use Confusion again on Geodude. And Brock uses Defense Curl again. We finish Geodude off with one more Confusion. He sends out his next Pokemon, his last Pokemon, Onix. He outspeeds us and uses Bind. We use Confusion again and take out about a quarter of his HP, then Bind hits us with some chip damage, bringing us down to 21 health. We get a higher damage roll in the next Confusion and bring him down to yellow health, and confuse him after another Bind. One more Confusion and Onix knocks himself out from Confusion, earning us the Boulder Badge. In Mount Moon, we pick up the Helix Fossil, because memes and mah-dry-bread. We also pick up the TM Thief and teach that to Butterfree so we can use that against Misty later. So after Mount Moon, we only have two options left at this point. We either have to fight the rival, or we have to fight Misty, and both are a brick wall, because we get wiped out by either one. Butterfree has to get stronger, and, well, to be honest, Beedrill's going to be useless for a little bit until it can learn some better attacks. So we have to grind now. It's going to take a bit. After we grind up Beedrill to level 17 and Butterfree to level 20, we try the rival battle again. We start by using Fury Attack and it hits 5 times and does about a third of Pidgeot's HP. Pidgeot uses Gust, Pidgeotto not Pidgeot, and it takes us down below half health. We won't survive another hit with Beedrill, but that's okay, I just needed to weaken Pidgeotto. I use Poison Sting as my next move, hoping to poison it, but it doesn't. And it takes us out with another Gust. We send out Butterfree to avenge Beedrill. Butterfree does just that with one Confusion, getting a critical and knocking the pesky bird out. Our rival sends out his Charmander next. We take out almost half of his health with Confusion, and Charmander takes a third of our HP with Ember. We use Confusion again, and it makes Charmander confused, who then knocks himself out. That was lucky. He sends out his Abra next, so we use Thief to put it down to 1 HP, but all it can use is Teleport, so we knock it out next round with another Thief. He sends out Rattata, we use Confusion another time, and it almost knocks him out. He uses Tackle and it does, 8 damage, so we're not really in any danger here. So we use Confusion again and KO it easily, winning the battle.
The next battle on our agenda is the third rival battle on the S.S. He starts with Pidgeotto and we use Beedrill. We open with Brick Break and he uses Sand Attack, lowering our accuracy. We use another Brick Break to KO the Burb. Next up is his Kadabra, we use Twin Needle to one-shot it. Easy game. He sends out his Charmeleon next, so we send out our Butterfree. All hail Lord Butterfree! We use Supersonic to confuse it, but it breaks through and hits us with a Smokescreen. What's it with him lowering our accuracy? We use Confusion and do about a third. He counters with Ember, doing 18 damage, so we're doing pretty good. We use another Confusion, and he uses Growl for some reason. And we use another Confusion to put him in the red. And then we use one more Confusion to KO him. His last Pokemon is Raticate, so we send out Beedrill. We use Brick Break to KO it in one hit. The next battle is against Surge. He starts off with Voltorb and we start with Beedrill. We use Brick Break and get a critical hit, taking out his Voltorb in one, although it might have been a one-shot anyway. His next Pokemon is Pikachu, and I decide to use Brick Break again, and we get a one-shot. But we do end up paralyzed because of its static. That's not great. His last Pokemon is Raichu. It uses Double Team, and we break through paralysis with Twin Needle and take it down to just under half. Raichu hits me with a Shockwave that does 19 damage on the next turn, but we can't move because of paralysis. Raichu uses Shockwave again, this time getting a crit and taking us down to 15 health. That would have been bad, except we break through paralysis this time and hit Twin Needle, winning the fight and the badge. After some grinding, we head to take on Erika. She starts the Victory Bell, and we start with Lord Butterfree, Long May They Reign. We use Psybeam, almost putting it in the red, and Erika uses Stun Spore, paralyzing us. Yay. Before we can move, Erika uses a Hyper Potion, bringing her Victory Bell back to full health. We get a slightly higher roll of damage with her Psybeam, putting it in the red. She then uses Acid, which does 23 damage, and we finish it off with another Psybeam. Her next Pokemon is Tangela, so we swap into Beedrill, and use Aerial Ace. I'm not sure why I didn't use Twin Needle, though. I probably would have done more damage. She uses Giga Drain, doing 3 damage. Great thinking there, Erika. Another Aerial Ace knocks it out. Her last Pokemon is Vileplume. We use Aerial Ace again, doing about half, and she uses Stun Spore, but she misses. And we use Aerial Ace one more time to KO Vileplume, and giving us our 4th badge. Giovanni is up next. He starts with Onix and we use Beedrill. Brick Break takes a bit under half health, and Giovanni uses Harden, dooming himself to fainting without doing any damage to Beedrill. That's how confident I was. I didn't even heal before this battle. His next Pokemon is Rhyhorn, so I switch into Lord Butterfree, Long May They Reign, and use Giga Drain. One-shotting it with a critical, which we didn't need anyway. Also, putting us back at full HP. His last Pokemon, Kangaskhan, is up next, so we switch into Beedrill so we can use Brick Break, which puts it just under half health. Nice. Kangaskhan uses Mega Punch, and it actually does a good amount of damage, 57 damage to be precise. For once, Giovanni did a good move. But we end it on our next Brick Break. Easy game. The 4th rival battle is next, and he starts with Pidgeotto again, and we use good old Beedrill. We use our newly learned Hyper Beam to one-shot this pesky burb. He sends out his Execute, and since Beedrill has to recharge after Hyper Beam, I switch into Butterfree and use Thief. And since we're a bit over-leveled, we scramble that egg. He sends out Charmeleon after that, and we go for a Psybeam, which does well over half. He uses Smokescreen, again with this crap. One more Psybeam finishes it off. Next out is Gyarados. We leave Lord Butterfree in, Long May He Reign, and use Giga Drain, doing just over a third of its HP. It uses Thrash and does 24 damage, so we aren't in any danger. I use Psybeam to try and finish it off this turn, but it only takes it into the red. Or almost red. And it keeps up its Thrash, doing 26 more damage. Next turn we finish it off with another Psybeam. His last Pokemon is Kadabra, so we switch into Beedrill and use Twin Needle to knock it out and win the fight. Our next battle is Koga and Fuchsia City. He leads off with Coughing and I lead off with Butterfree. One Psybeam KOs his Coughing. His next Pokemon is Muck. We use another Psybeam and do about a third of its health, and Muck uses Minimize. Why does everyone mess with accuracy? We do another Psybeam that brings it down to almost the red. Muck uses Toxic. Crap, that's not good. We finish off his Muck with another Psybeam, and he sends out another Coughing, which is another one-shot with Psybeam, but we are starting to rack that toxic damage up. His last Pokemon is Weezing, and for the first time in this run, we are out-leveled. We use another Psybeam, which takes it down under half, and it uses Smokescreen. Seriously, why all this accuracy crap in this run? I've never had this much trouble with it before. Our toxic damage takes us down to 47 HP, and we managed to hit the Weezing with our next Psybeam, despite having lowered accuracy, winning the fight and the badge. 5 down, 3 to go. Giovanni is up next, and he starts with Nidorino. We use Butterfree. We misclick and use Silver Wind, it doesn't do a lot, and we don't get the stat boost. And he uses Poison Sting, which does a whopping 9 damage. Next turn, I use Psybeam and KO him. His Rhyhorn is an easy one-shot with Giga Drain, putting Butterfree back at full health. He sends out Kangaskhan next, and I send out Beedrill. I use Twin Needle. I really don't know why I did that, honestly. I recorded this run almost a year ago. It does a bit of damage and poisons him, so that's something. He uses Tail Whip, lowering our defense, and next turn I miss Hyper Beam, and he hits us with Mega Punch, doing over half our health. Yikes. The poison brings him under half, and our next Hyper Beam connects, knocking it out. His last Pokemon is Nidoqueen, so we switch in Butterfree to deal with it. Our Psybeam does just under half, and it uses Poison Sting, poisoning us, which brings us down to 108 HP. Our next Psybeam puts it just over the red, and he uses Poison Sting again. With poison damage, we're brought down to 81 HP. Our next Psybeam knocks it out and wins us the fight. All in all, it wasn't really even close. Our next opponent is Sabrina. We start with Beedrill, and she starts with Kadabra, which goes down in one Twin Needle. Her next Pokemon is Mr. Mime. I use Double Team, and it uses Calm Mind. We use Twin Needle next turn and KO it. Our third Pokemon is Alakazam. We use one Twin Needle to take it out. So much for that. Our last Pokemon is Venomoth, and it almost goes down to one Aerial Ace and hits us back with Psybeam, but does confuse us. It uses a Hyper Potion next turn, and we hit ourselves in confusion. Huh, at least she's putting up a bit of a fight now. We hit ourselves in confusion again and take another Psybeam. See? This is why you can't underestimate bug types. This thing has done more to me than all of her other Pokemon combined. We finally break through confusion and hit her with another Aerial Ace, just missing the knockout. It uses Gust and KO's Beedrill. Well, it looks like it's up to Lord Butterfree again to win us a match. She uses another Hyper Potion, but we have Psychic now, so we one-shotting it, getting us another badge. Next up is Blaine. We had quite a lot of trouble with this gym. Blaine starts off with Growlithe and we use Butterfree. Intimidate lowers our attack, but we won't be needing that anyway. We use Psychic and it's almost a one-shot, but he does big damage to us using Fire Blast. Blaine uses a Hyper Potion next turn, and we use Giga Drain to get a little bit of health back and also avoid him using another Hyper Potion. And then Blaine does something weird. He switches in Rapidash, which now has to take a Psychic. It does about half, which means our next Psychic takes it out. He sends Growlithe back out to just get KO'd by another Psychic. Great thinking there, Blaine. His next Pokemon is Ponyta, so I send in Beedrill to knock it out with the Hyper Beam. Easy. His last Pokemon is Arcanine. We switch Butterfree back in and use Stun Spore to slow it down. He uses Fire Blast, knocking out our Butterfree. We send in Beedrill again and Blaine uses a full heal while we use Double Team. We use Hyper Beam next, taking away most of his HP, and he uses Fire Blast, nearly KOing us. We have to sit idle next turn and hope for a miss, which we get. One more Hyper Beam wins us the battle and our 7th badge. God, this took so many tries. Time for our last battle with Giovanni. He starts off with Rhyhorn, we use Lord Butterfree, long may they reign, and use Giga Drain to take out his Rhyhorn. His next Pokemon is another Rhyhorn, so we just use another Giga Drain. Easy peasy. He sends out Dugtrio next, and we use Silver Wind, almost taking it out. I kinda wished and hoped I'd get the stat boost, but I didn't. He uses Slash, doing 20 damage, and then he uses a Hyper Potion, restoring Dugtrio, just to have it get KO'd by a critical hit Silver Wind. He sends out Nidoqueen next, and we almost one-shot it with a Psychic. He uses Body Slam, paralyzing us, and he uses another potion next turn. And we can't move because of paralysis. Yay! He uses another Body Slam, putting us at about half, and we use another Psychic. We get a higher damage roll this time and take it out. His last Pokemon is Nidoking. It uses Thrash, getting a critical hit and leaving us with only 4 HP left. We hit our Psychic, though, and KO it, giving us all the badges now. Our 6th rival battle took me a lot of tries, so here's the winning attempt. We open with Butterfree against his Pidgeot. We use Psychic, which does just over half. He uses Wing Attack, doing about a third. Another Psychic KOs it. His next Pokemon is Rhyhorn, so we use Giga Drain to get back all of our health. Easy. He sends out his Charizard next, and we use Stun Spore. It gets paralyzed and can't move. Psychic does a third, and we get a special defense drop too. He uses Scary Face, lowering our speed. Not good. Our next Psychic puts him in the red. He hits us with another Scary Face, but we still outspeed and we use another Psychic and take it out. He sends out Execute next, and we swap in Beedrill and take it out with Beedrill's Twin Needle. He sends out Alakazam next, and we use another Twin Needle to KO it. Seriously, Alakazam is an easy knockout. His last Pokemon is Gyarados. We use Twin Needle hoping to poison it, but it doesn't. It doesn't do a lot of damage either. He uses Hydro Pump, which doesn't do a lot, all things considered. We use another Twin Needle, hoping again to get the poison, but it still doesn't get poisoned. And he uses another Hydro Pump. We are not going to win this exchange. We use another Twin Needle, and we still don't get the poison. But he somehow hits us with 3 Hydro Pumps in a row. Wow. I use Aerial Ace hoping to do more damage, but no luck there. And he hits a 4th Hydro Pump. Are you kidding me? This time I use a Hyper Beam to finish it off. Now all that is left is the Pokemon League. My god, was it impossible to beat Lorelei. We tried and failed so many times. We were level 90 before it was even close. We lead off with Butterfree and use Giga Drain against her Dugong. It goes all the way down to the red and she uses Hail. After taking some Hail chip damage, she uses a full restore and we use Psychic. We take some more Hail damage and we use Psychic again next turn, taking down Dugong. She sends out Slowbro next, so I send in Beedrill. We both take some more Hail damage, and then I use Twin Needle, putting Slowbro in the red. She uses Surf on us, doing a decent chunk, and we use Twin Needle next turn to take it out. Her next mon is Cloyster, so I send in Butterfree to use Giga Drain on it, KOing it in one hit. She sends out her Jinx next, so out comes Beedrill to use Twin Needle on it, getting us another KO. Her last Pokemon is Lapras, so we use another Twin Needle hoping to poison it. It doesn't, and it uses Body Slam, but we don't get paralyzed, luckily. Our next Twin Needle brings it down into the red. She uses Confuse Ray on us, though, so as long as we don't hit ourselves, we should be good. We get lucky again, breaking through confusion and hitting our Hyper Beam, taking down Lorelei and winning us the first match of the league. Bruno is next, and he is very easy. We start out with Butterfree, and he starts with Onix. We use Giga Drain and one-shot it. His next Pokemon is Hitmonchan, so we send out Beedrill and use Aerial Ace, KOing it in one hit. He sends out his Machamp next, and we use Aerial Ace again, putting it in the red. He uses Bulk Up, and he eats his Citrus Berry, but it's not enough to save him from another Aerial Ace. He sends out Hitmonlee next, but it's another one-shot with Aerial Ace. His last Pokemon is Onix, so we swap back into Butterfree and use Psychic to one-shot it. This is almost always really easy. Bruno is not very good. 2 down, free to go. Agatha is next. She sends out Gengar and we send out Butterfree. One Psychic is enough to knock it out. Her next Pokemon is Golbat, which we take out with another Psychic. She sends out Arbok next, but it goes down to Psychic as well. She sends out her second Gengar, and we use Psychic again. This battle is so underwhelming. Her last Pokemon is Haunter, and it's a one-shot with Psychic. He was even easier than Bruno. At least his Machamp took a couple hits to take out. Oh well, can't complain too much considering how hard Lorelei was. Lance is next. He opens with Gyarados, and we use Butterfree. Our Psychic does just over half, and Lance uses Dragon Rage. Our next Psychic takes Gyarados down. He sends out his Dragonite next, and we use a Psychic to do about a third. He is a Safeguard, luckily. Our next Psychic brings him down very low, and he uses Wing Attack, which does 121 damage. He also eats his Citrus Berry, restoring a good amount of hit points. Enough to just barely survive our next Psychic. Luckily, he goes for Hyper Beam and misses. He then uses a full restore, and we use Psychic again, doing a third of his health. We use another Psychic, bringing him down into the red before we faint to his next Wing Attack. It's time for Beedrill to shine. We use Aerial Ace to knock out that pesky dragon, and he sends out his Aerodactyl next. We use Twin Needle, and he uses Scary Face. That's not great. Luckily, we are still faster, and our next Twin Needle does decent damage, and we poison it too. He uses Scary Face again, which means he will outspeed us now for the rest of the fight. And next turn, he uses Hyper Beam, doing 87 damage to us, and we use Twin Needle again, finishing it off. He sends out Dragonair next, and uses Dragon Rage on us, bringing us down to 102 HP. We use Twin Needle, putting it almost in the red. He uses a full restore this turn, and we use Twin Needle again, putting it right back where it started. We somehow outsped this turn, and used Twin Needle, knocking it out. His last Pokemon is his other Dragonair. He uses Safeguard for some reason. Our Twin Needle does good damage, but my heart skipped a beat when he uses Hyper Beam. We are left with 40 hit points, but we get the Twin Needle to connect, and we get the knockout. Lance took so many tries, and a lot had to go right there. I am glad he's done. Here it is, the final battle. Our rival leads off with Pidgeot. We lead with Lord Butterfree, long may they reign, and use Psychic. We get a critical hit, one-shotting his pesky Burb. He sends out Rhydon next, and we use Giga Drain, taking it down. Nice. He sends out Charizard after that, and we send in Beedrill and use Double Team. He misses a Slash, and we use Aerial Ace, doing about a quarter of his HP. He goes for Fire Blast and misses. We go for another Aerial Ace, putting it down to about a third of its HP. He uses Fire Blast and does huge damage, leaving us with only 83 HP, and he restores some health with a Citrus Berry. I decide it's all or nothing and use Hyper Beam, KOing it. He sends out Alakazam next, and we send in Butterfree. We use Silverwind to one-shot it. He sends out Exeggutor after that, and we use Silverwind for another one-shot. His last Pokemon is Gyarados. We use Psychic, doing just under half, and he uses Thrash, doing 60 damage. We use another Psychic, putting Gyarados in the red, and he hits us with another Thrash, leaving us with 129 HP. His Thrash ends and he is confused. He uses a full restore and we use a Psychic, putting it just over half health again. We use another Psychic to put it back in the red, and we get a special defense drop. He uses Dragon Rage, doing 40 damage. So, nothing. He uses another full restore and we use another Psychic, bringing it down below half. We use another Psychic and become the champion, proving you can beat Pokemon FireRed by stinging like a Beedrill and floating like a Butterfree. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Please like the video if you want to, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye!